Hello, welcome to our next video, multiplying by two-digit numbers. So I'm going to tell you step by step how to do this, and I'm going to do a lot of color coding on this so you don't have to rewrite a whole lot of stuff. So make sure you're ready with some different colors so you can change colors. When I change colors, that could be very helpful. Okay, I'm going to start with step 1, which is lining up your numbers. Line up the numbers. Usually you want to put the number that has the larger number on top or the one with the most digits. So our problem is going to be 383 times 64. Since 383 has 3 digits, I'm putting that number on top. Okay, step 2. We're going to multiply the ones place. Let's see, multiply. Let me redo that because that's kind of messy. I'm going to write it next to it. So multiply the ones place. Okay. So I start with, notice I'm going to do this in orange. You can do a different color. 4 times 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so I write down the 2. And since the answer is 12, the 2 goes in the ones place, and the 1 in the tens place we're going to regroup up here at the top. Okay? And then my next step, and I'm going to change color for this, step 3, is we're going to multiply the ones to the tens place. Okay, and don't forget, this is important, that you add what you carried. Okay, so I'm going to do this in purple. Hopefully you can tell the color there. So we're going to go here, 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. And then I carried 1 up at the top. So plus 1 is 33. So it's actually 4 times 8 tens. So it really would be like, 320 would be the answer, which I'll show you why that works later. But I'm going to put down my 3 and carry my 3. And then I go to step 4. Okay, so I'm going to scooch this up. And step 4 would be to multiply the ones to the hundreds place. Okay, I'm going to change to green here. So I'm going to do my 4, I'm going to draw my arrow so it's just not so messy, but the 4 times the 3, which is 12, plus the 3 that I carried, which is 15. Okay. Now, I'm going to rewrite this down at the bottom, which I'd like you to also, so it doesn't have all that messy. I'm going to scoot this up. Remember, you can pause this video anytime you need to so that you can catch up with me. Okay. 383 times 64. So far what we did was 4 times 3 is 12. We wrote down the 2. We carried our 1. So we did this, and now we're doing 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32, plus the 1 is 33, and we put down the 3. And then we do 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15, and that's what I have now. Okay, now, this is where step 5 comes in. Step 5. Okay? Fun ways to remember this. I know your 4th grade teachers might have taught you something different. You can remember it that way with the cookie and all that, the story that goes along with this one, or you can go do this story here. So Fred dies. That's the person we were multiplying by. So I'm going to get rid of Fred, which is my 4. He dies. Okay. My next step is we need to bury him. So that goes up down here. This is where I buried him. Sometimes I put an X in it so I remember. You guys used to draw it as a cookie. That's fine. And then we need to get rid of the evidence. Get rid of evidence. Okay, so that would be all the stuff at the top. That's our evidence to show that we multiplied, so we need to get rid of it. Okay. And now we're ready to go on to step 6. So step 6 is when we multiply, we do the tens to the ones, and then we would do the tens to tens, and I'll show this in a moment step by step, and then tens to hundreds. So watch as I do that. Okay, so I'm going to start with my orange. So I'm going to do the 6 times the 3 first. This is 6 tens times that 3, which 6 times 3 is 18. So I'd write down my 8 and carry my 1 up here. Okay, then I would do 6 times this 8. 6 times 8 is 48, plus this 1 that we carried. Don't forget to add what you carried, what you regrouped. Okay, so that's 49, so I'm going to write down my 9, carry my 4, regroup my 4, and then 6 times 3 is 18 plus 4, so 18 plus 4, I need to do some scratch work, 22, just to make sure I'm not making any careless mistakes. And then we add it. That's step 7. Step 7, add by place value. Okay, so 3 plus 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 8 is 11. Regroup my 1. Be careful. Sometimes we forget about these ones. There's not a lot of space, so sometimes you're squeezing it in there. So you want to make sure you're not forgetting about those ones that you're regrouping, or tens, what, you know, the 20s or whatever you regroup or carry. So I'm going to add this. Well, I see 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Regroup my 1. And then I add that 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. And then we have my 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. Remember, we don't see the decimal. It goes at the end. So I want you to get in the habit of putting the decimal in your answer, just because I think that will help you out. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the same problem again, but I'm going to show you another method. And then you get to choose which method you like. But we want to work toward trying this method. Okay, this is called the traditional algorithm. So I'm going to write that on here. Traditional algorithm. So I do want you to try that, but if you don't, because that's what our goal is right now. Okay, we'll be practicing this a lot in class. All right, so let's take the same problem and we're going to do it a different way. We're going to do the box method. Okay, so it looks like it's going to look like an array. Okay, so I'm going to draw my box. Okay, and I have 383 at the top, so I'm going to break that up. This is going to be 300, 80, and then 3. Okay, and this will be times, and my number was 64. 64, so we're going to do 60 and 4, and we're going to go across that way. Okay, so we're going to start. We'll look at 3 times 4 is 12, so I'm going to put that right here. Okay, 4 times 80, so 4 times 8 is 32, and then we're going to put that 0 at the end because this would be 320. 4 times 300, again 4 times 3 is 12. Since it's in the 100 spot, it's like 1200 or 1200. And we're going to go here. 60 times 300. So 6 times 3 is 18. And I have 1, 2, 3 zeros, so that would be worth 18,000. Okay. 8 times 6 is 48. And then I have 2 zeros. And then 3 times 60, that would be 18 again. And I have 1 0. Okay, so that's partial products, kind of breaking it up. It's a box method. Think about it. If I did 383 dots all the way across 64 times, this would be like an array. Think about all those different boxes, and we're just breaking it up into sections. All right, so the next part is we're going to add all these boxes up. So we're going to take all these numbers and we're going to add them up, but we need to make sure we line up our place value. So I'm going to scooch it up. So we have 18,000 plus 4,800 plus, I'm going to do this number because it's bigger, and then we're going to do these 200, let's see, 180, 320, and 12. So you see that's all of that, and I would add that all up. Okay, so I have all, that's 2, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, carry my 1. Again, I have 8 plus 2, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, carry my 1. You might have to do some scratch paper on some of this to make sure you're being careful. Let's see, 8 plus 4 is 12, 13, 14. Am I making a mistake? You know, that's right. Okay, carry the 1, and then I have 24,512. So if you look at this and look at the previous problem in the traditional algorithm, you can see how the similarities and where maybe some of these numbers come from. You might be recognizing some of it when we were regrouping and carrying what we wrote down and what we carried, and then we were just adding different things together. Okay, so that's the box method. Okay, I want you to try a couple problems. And you can try them either way, but I definitely want you to try the traditional algorithm at least once. I would really want you to try that at least once. Okay, I just want you to try 2 problems tonight because we're going to be getting lots of practice in class on this. Let me get them ready. Hang on. I want you to try. I'm going to start 24 times 15. You may not have room on this paper. Like, as you can see, I would not have room here, so you need to go to the next page. But I do want you to try this. Try me number 1 and try me number 2. I want you to do, let's see, I want a different problem than that. We're going to do 204 times 41. You can at least practice the steps. There's not a lot of regrouping on this one, so that might be helpful for learning the steps. So there you go. Try those 2 problems and be ready for homework on to be able to discuss this on the next day we do this, when it's due. Thank you.